Hi folks, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk to you about sexy things. No, this isn't a video for Victoria's Secret. Okay, let me rephrase the statement and explain. I'm going to talk to you about sexy versus basic. We all want to be more sexy, more appealing, and have more fun and more money and better health and so on. Well, here's a clue. You won't be sexier, have more fun, more money, or better health until you do the unexciting, dull, and boring basic stuff first. It's a law of nature. You won't have more money by hoping and wishing. Sort of sounds like a Motown song from the 60s, but if you want more money, you have to set up a budget, you have to stick to it and work that budget. If you want better health, you can't do it by hoping and wishing. You've got to change some of your lifestyle choices. Do the minute movement exercises. Change some of your eating habits. Your sex appeal will improve when you improve, and believe me when I tell you, it starts right between your ears. See yourself as that person you want to be, and then work towards that goal. Now, chances are, when you were a little kid, you learned about sexy versus basic. Remember that little engine that could? He kept working at it until he could, and if you remember, he couldn't for a long time. How about the tortoise and the hare? Everybody knows about how the slow and steady will ultimately win, but come on, that's not very sexy or glamorous. Okay, typically you don't hear about somebody or a company until they've paid the price and made it to the top. That price is that non-sexy, dull, and boring basic stuff. And if they've not done the basics but somehow have made it to the top, rest assured they're not going to stay there very long. You just can't fool with the laws of nature. Now, one of the best sexy versus basic analogies I can think of is sports. I don't care which sport you pick, the winners, those top athletes, they work tirelessly on the basic, non-sexy stuff. Every day they're taking extra batting practice. They practice the layups, passing the ball, doing dunks. They run the extra wind sprints. They lift weights. Hockey players, they skate forwards and backwards, practicing and taking and blocking shots. Now here's a side note about taking the shot. Wayne Gretzky, admittedly one of the very few hockey players I know of, he said that you miss every shot you don't take. Basically, you can only plan and strategize for so long. At some point, you have to take action and then take the shot. I enjoy football myself. Let me rephrase that. I enjoy watching football. If you notice, I'm not exactly built for football. Now here's another full disclosure. My home professional team finished a stellar 2-14 this year. That's because they didn't practice or handle the basics very well. They did have the highest number of turnovers in the league. And that's just one reason that we now have a new head coach and the #1 draft pick this year. I hope we use it wisely. But the really great teams, they do the basic stuff better than the rest of all the other teams. And you've probably heard the announcer from time to time say, they're going to run this play or they're going to run that play and dare the opposing team to stop them. That's because they've practiced and worked and practiced and worked on those plays until they are flat out terrific at them. Then it becomes sexy because they're the best at their game. Now, here's another clue. If you're in sales, make more sales calls, set up more appointments. If you're a musician, practice scales until you can play them in your sleep. Students with higher grades, surprisingly, they tend to study more. And if you want to advance at your place at work, do more than what's expected of you. Show up early, stay late. Somebody's going to notice. It might take a while, but somebody will notice, and it will happen. Always, always do your job as if the boss were watching. Truth is, more likely he or she is. Now, I dig cars. I don't think there's anything more sexy than a really cool car rolling down the road. Have you ever had a really gorgeous car catch your eye as it went down the road? Now, to get that car to an absolutely gorgeous condition, somebody had to wash it and wax it, clean the engine compartment, clean the wheels, wipe down the upholstery, polish everything, and then one last final wipe down to remove all fingerprints. Somebody did a lot of work and preparation to get it to that final condition. That preparation was boring, but the final product was wow. Now my wife, she does quite a bit of sewing and craft stuff. When she finishes something, it looks great, but the work during the making of that item is immense. She'll have fabric and pieces of stuff just strewn all over the place, and she'll work on it for hours and days and weeks to get to an end product. That end product is usually a wow thing. Now here's one of the biggest nuggets of information that I can pass along to you. Remember the in between your ears statement? As you see yourself as that sexy, desirable person, and I'm not talking about physical, I want you to internalize that mindset. And as you do, you begin to broadcast it or project it via your self-confidence. As you treat yourself and others differently, or more specifically in a more positive manner, people will begin to treat you differently and more positively. The more positive reinforcement you get back, the more you continue to see yourself in that positive frame of mind, and it will truly become who you are, and then all of a sudden, you're that sexy person that you were thinking of. Does it happen overnight? Of course not. It takes time, it takes work, it takes effort, and a stick-to-it attitude. Now you've made the commitment to improve yourself and your circumstance. Great! Congratulations! Now remember, you have to make that same commitment to do the basic, non-sexy stuff. And as you see yourself transform and improve, notice how other things in your life begin to transform and improve. This is an exciting time for you, and I congratulate you again on that first step. I know you will continue to follow through, and as you do, keep us posted on the progress in the adventure called you.